Howdy folks, I'm Andrew, and today I would like to teach you how to use synthetic division to divide the following polynomial function of x to the fourth minus 3x squared plus 1 by x minus 1. So the first step is locate your dividend, and that's the term to the left of that division symbol. Locate the highest power of x, which in this case is a 4, add 1 to it for a total of 5, and that's going to tell you the number of columns here you're going to need to the left. No. Is that my right? Yes, to the right of that particular black line. Now, that means that you're going to have 5 coefficients, okay? But when you look back at this, you're only going to notice that you have 3 coefficients, one in front of the x to the fourth, one in front of the x squared, and then your constant. So you're like, what are the other 2? Well, the other 2 are going to turn out to be zeros, okay? Now, you got to be very careful about where you place in those zeros. So in other words, what I want you to do, take this function, so x to the fourth, then I'm going to write plus 3x squared plus 1. Because I notice that I'm missing an x cubed term here, right? I'm going in decreasing order. And then I'm missing an x term there. So x to the fourth, x cubed, x squared, x, and then constant. So the number that you're going to plug in here all the time now in these missing terms is going to be a 0. Okay? And this is now going to tell you the order of the coefficients and how you're going to plug them in. In other words, always start with your highest power. The coefficient there is a 1, so you plug in 1. The next term then has a 0, so that's a 0. The next term there is going to be, I don't know how that turned out to be a positive 3. I'm just looking back. That should have been a negative 3. Okay? So I'm just seeing if you're paying attention. All right? So please, hopefully you didn't comment yet and say it's totally wrong. Hopefully you're still watching the video. So yes, we all do make mistakes, but you got to try to catch them. But sometimes they all slip, some of them slip through, but what are you going to do? Anyway, that's a negative 3. And here's going to be a 0. And then the next one is a 1. Cool. So now you have all of the terms properly listed in your synthetic division table. So let's just erase that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to focus now on your divisor. Take your divisor. That's the term to the right of that division symbol. Set it equal to 0 and solve it for x. So very simple. X is going to be equal to positive 1. And that value, whatever you solve for, is going to be the value you're going to plug in here on the outside now of your synthetic division table, I guess. And now once you have the first row fully filled, you can start the procedure. Take your first coefficient, drop it straight down. Don't do anything in this box. That's why it's red. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take this value and multiply it by this value. Whatever the answer will be is the answer that's going to get plugged into this next adjacent cell. That's going to be a 1. Then you're simply going to add. What am I doing? Then you're going to add these terms together. And when you add those terms together, it's going to be a total of 1. Then you're going to take this value, whatever it is, 1, and multiply it by that value, whatever it is, 1. And 1 times 1 is going to be 1 again. And then you're going to plug that into the next adjacent cell, add these now together. That's going to then be a negative 2. Then you're going to take this result, multiply it by this thing. So negative 2 times 1 is going to be a negative 2. Plug it into the next adjacent cell. Then add the values of the column together. That's going to be a negative 2. And then, whatever this value is, multiply it by the original 1 there. Negative 2 times 1 is going to be a negative 2 again, and then just simply add these terms again. So that's going to be a total of negative 1. Now what you found here is you found the following coefficients and remainders. You found the last term here is always going to represent your remainder, always. Then the term before that is going to be your constant. And then the pattern is this. This is going to be your x, x squared, x cubed, however many terms you have, okay? So one thing is, before I start writing out, and we're almost there. These will almost represent, I got to make sure we do one thing, the coefficients of now your quotient. But what you want to do first, before you conclude and finish up, you got to go back to your divisor. And you have to identify the coefficient of your x term. And in the divisor, the coefficient was a 1. Now, whatever this coefficient is, whatever it is going to be the value that you're going to divide into each of these coefficients in your quotient, except for do not do it to your remainder. Okay? Now in this problem, it's just a 1. So dividing stuff by 1 doesn't do a darn thing. So that's kind of why sometimes it's skipped. But I don't want you to skip it, because imagine if this now is a 2 and I didn't teach that to you. Well, then you're going to be up the creek without the paddle. I want you to be up the creek with the paddle. Actually, I want you to be up the creek with the engine. Screw the paddle, right? I want you to have a gas engine up there, okay? Now, since it's all a 1, we don't need to do anything. But I still want you to think about it. So let's go back. So, and then if it were a 2, you would divide, just hypothetically, right? These would all be 1/2. This would then be a -1. This would have been a -1 as well. And those would have been your new coefficients, okay? Any case, constant x, x squared, x cubed. And now we can simply write everything on out, okay? So it's 1x cubed plus 1x squared minus 2x minus 2. Now you don't plug in the c. That stands for constant, okay? And then minus now, because that's your remainder, whatever now the value is, if it's a 1 or a 0, I don't care what it is, 27 million, you're going to plug it in the numerator and then put your divisor in the denominator. And this is now the quotient. Okay, you can clean it up a little bit. You don't need those 1s in front of the, x cubed, nor the x squared. So you can just clean it up a little bit if you want. And now you're kind of finished. Okay, this is the quotient. So this is it. All right, so in other words, when you take this and you divide it by this, you get this. Okay? Thanks so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it very much. Thank you for all the support and everything you've done for us. We really do appreciate it. We want to help more students, and we love the fact that you're helping us by spreading the word. We have thousands of videos out there, not only in math here, but chemistry and physics as well. We solve specific problems because guess what you're going to see on your tests? Specific problems. So we teach you how to approach them, how to solve them, okay? And we teach the theory kind of through the problems, all right? I think that's probably one of the best ways to learn. Learn kind of by doing it, all right? So thanks so much for tuning in. Love to help you out with more. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.